My SIL criticized my wedding dress as the worst she has seen, but my brother's speech uncovered her plan to sabotage my wedding, and she made sure I heard it from the second she laid eyes on it. Melissa had an opinion ready at my fitting, tilting her head and saying the neckline screamed attention-seeking and the lace looked like it belonged on ancient drapes. What she ignored was that the dress wasn't some random vintage find. It was my grandmother's gown from 1952, carefully restored and altered just for me, and it carried more meaning than I could explain. Melissa acted like I'd pulled it out of a trash pile, sending me links every day to better options and making comments about hiding my arms or fixing my shape. When I said I was happy, she'd sigh dramatic and say not everyone cared about looking their best on their wedding day. She didn't stop there. At my bridal shower, Melissa loudly told everyone she'd tried to help me find something flattering, but I was too stubborn to listen, even claiming she offered to pay for a better dress. My mom was furious but stayed quiet to keep the peace. At my bachelorette party, Melissa brought fabric samples in her bag, saying we still had time to rush something decent if I changed my mind. She spent the entire night telling strangers at the bar that I'd regret my dress when I saw the photos. The week before the wedding, I found out she'd called my photographer to avoid full-length shots, my makeup artist to suggest heavy contouring, and even the florist to use bigger bouquets to distract from my dress. Every vendor called me confused and uncomfortable. At the rehearsal dinner, Melissa showed up with a garment bag and proudly revealed a tight, sparkly dress she claimed was what modern brides actually wear. She said my dress made me look like I was playing dress-up as my grandmother. My fiancé Ethan finally told her to stop, but she insisted she was saving me from myself. On the wedding morning, she kept commenting on the lighting, showing the fabric's age, and questioning whether I really wanted my arms exposed. My bridesmaids were ready to throw her out, but I stayed calm for reasons she didn't understand yet. Walking down the aisle, I heard her whisper that I looked like I was wearing a cheap costume, while everyone else was crying at how beautiful the dress was. My grandmother, 93 and watching from her wheelchair, was openly sobbing with joy seeing her dress again. During cocktail hour, Melissa cornered relatives, pointing out the uneven hem, the aged beading, and how the silhouette supposedly didn't suit me. She didn't realize my cousin Lauren was recording everything so my grandmother could hear the speeches later. Melissa had been married to my brother Ryan for 8 years, and their wedding had been a massive, expensive production. She never missed a chance to remind people about her $20,000 designer dress, calling it a real wedding gown. That history made what happened at the reception impossible to ignore. When it was time for the speeches, Ryan stood up for his best man toast, but instead of talking about Ethan and me, he started talking about my dress. He said seeing me in our grandmother's gown made him realize that some people understood what truly mattered in a marriage, and some people didn't. Melissa smiled, assuming he was about to back her up, until he explained that my dress represented family, history, and love, the same love our grandparents shared for 67 years. Then he turned to Melissa and admitted their own wedding planning had been about appearances and showing off. He pointed out that her famous dress had been worn once and now sat untouched in a closet. As he pulled out an envelope, he added that since she cared so much about appearance, she should know everyone had been talking about her outfit, a white lace cocktail dress she chose to wear to my wedding.